Well, hello, all of you out there in social media land and Fuel fans alike. I have a very special treat for you, joined now in studio by none other than Mr. Barry Melrose, ESPN contributor and NHL Network contributor as well. Thank you so much for joining us and sitting down.
My pleasure.
Well, when it comes to hockey, at any level, and certainly something I think that transcends international borders, is that it seems to be a familial sport. Whether it's a player that got involved because his brother was involved first or his dad was involved, or a fan that's passing on the loyalty and the fandom to subsequent generations. Have you seen that? Can you attest to that?
I can certainly attest to that. That's how I was brought up. Hockey is a type of sport where it's a family commitment because you have to drive. You have to spend money for ice time. You have to spend money for equipment. It's not a case where you can throw a ball out for 6 kids and they can have a wonderful time for 2 hours. Hockey's not like that. And my grandfather took me to every game that I ever played. My dad did the same thing. He coached me. My son played youth hockey. I coached him, ran practices, things like that. It's a family commitment. It's hard, and that's one of the problems. It's an expensive sport to play, and you've got to be a committed group. And the brother will want to play, and the sister plays, and then all of a sudden you got 3-4 kids going different directions. So you need the whole neighborhood to kick in. You got one parent taking 3 kids one way, another parent taking 3 kids the other way. But it's so worth it because where else? I used to be in the truck with my son for like 4 hours. How else do you ever spend 4 hours with your son or your daughter? It just doesn't happen in today's society. So I used to love our times coming back from games, and we'd be talking about the games, talking about the tournament, and then he'd ask me questions about other stuff, and those are great times. I got more out of him playing youth hockey than he got out of him playing youth hockey.
Awesome. Well, and certainly speaking to commitment and just putting time in, you've had just about every position in hockey possible, from a player yourself to a GM and beyond. Yep. Most notably, taking a run at the Stanley Cup Final in '93 with the Kings. Can you tell me though what you most want your legacy to say, or what you want people most to remember you?
I want them to guys I played with, guys that played for me. I want them to look back and say, geez, it was fun going out with Barry and talking hockey and having a beer and telling stories and telling jokes. That's what I miss about him. So that would be what I'd like in my tombstone. I miss Barry because he was just a great guy to talk hockey with. So I love the sport. I think it's special. I think it's unique. I think it's imaginative. I think it teaches you a lot of things if you're a child. It teaches you a lot of things if you're a man. So I want that to come through, that I love the sport and I enjoy being around the sport.
Certainly humility runs deep within the sport as well.
Yep.
And of course it's pro hockey season, so I'd love to hear from you some thoughts on what you're most excited to see this season as we're here, and then if you think the Blackhawks will garner the word dynasty in your eyes.
Well, they've garnered the word dynasty. They've won 3 Stanley Cups.
Okay.
That's today's dynasty in the NHL. I love the Blackhawks. I love the way they play. I love their jersey. It's the greatest jersey in sports. It's the greatest emblem in sport. They're certainly the team to beat in the West. They're awesome. Patrick Kane's off to a great start. Taves is Taves. He's great every night. Keith has been hurt. They haven't missed a beat. Host has been hurt. They haven't missed a beat. So certainly Chicago is at the centerpiece of anybody that's talking about a Stanley Cup winner. LA looks really good again. The Central Division that Chicago's in, they all look really good. I think 5 teams are going to make the Stanley Cup Finals or the Stanley Cup playoffs out of that Central Division. So St. Louis is awesome. In the East, you got to look. The Rangers right now look really, really good. Montreal looks really, really good. But again, until you beat the Chicago Blackhawks, they're still the favorite to win the Stanley Cup as far as I'm concerned.
Well, there you have it. For more with Mr. Melrose, check out the next installment of Comcast Newsmakers Community Profile. I'm your host, Talor Whitaker. We'll see you next time.